Fly Guy in the building. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another Chronicles of Fly Guy, episode 20. Friends and expectations. Can men and women really be friends? I got my girl Pepper Potts here again. Y'all remember her? And of course me, I'm Fly Guy. And I want y'all to tell me, can men and women really be friends? What do you think, Pepper Potts?
Oh, I think it's possible. Pretty possible.
With what?
With being friends with the opposite gender, I keep that.
In this day and age.
Absolutely.
I agree with you. So the answer I would say is yes, but with certain boundaries.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything's boundaries. Every type of relationship you're in, whether it be romantic or not romantic, depends on, expectations and boundaries, setting those and respecting those, or I guess obviously ending a relationship would be, possibly due to a breach of those boundaries. So, yeah, absolutely.
Being disrespected or not told the truth or something of that nature, and it can be very. It could be a casual thing. It can be a serious relationship, and we have. First of all, we need to actually define what a friendship is. What is a friendship? I look up the definition in the Merriam Collegiate Dictionary, and it says, the state of being friends, the quality or state of being friendly. What qualities do you look for in a friendship?
I suppose people that look out for me or have my best interest at heart. It may not mean that we're always going to agree, because sometimes I don't always do things that are in my best interest, but that's definitely something that a friend of mine should have. For example, I have this friend named Brian, and I felt like there was something going bad in his relationship, and I just wanted to warn him about it, so this way, he wasn't, hurt later, that it didn't go well for him. And I could see it, so, I felt my duty to say so, even though he could get mad at me for bringing up negative stuff, so.
Yeah, I guess a quality I look for is, one, do we have a kind of the same interest? Because if I'm not really, sometimes I don't always have the same interest with people. Sometimes it's just the area that I'm in, So, and I do actually, I think that is a quality you were talking about before, looking out for the other person and having the duty to warn them, like, hey man, you might want to watch out. I've had a few friends I've had to tell, hey, you might want to watch out. Just giving you a fair warning, and it kind of blew me off or whatever. But I was like, you get mad. But I'm just telling you as an actual friend. I'm trying to let you know. You need to know that this is not going. That's not the route you want to go. Now, whether they listen to me or not, there's a different story. But we need to warn somebody that's actually going to be honest with me too, but not honest to the point where they're using it as a weapon. Do you know what I mean by that?
Maybe you can give me an example.
Okay, so when I say you weaponize something, y'all, when I say you weaponize something, it's basically like Pepper Potts tells me, or I'm telling her the truth about. Damn, what would I tell you the truth about? Something that can weaponize, but not, like, just an example. You get a big screen TV, and you think it's the best thing ever, and I know it's a complete fake, and it's not going to work. And you just like, hey, Flag, I got this TV. I got off this guy named, at Harry's pawn shop over here off of, 75th in Maine. I'm like, oh, hold up, man, I know that dude's a hack, man. Don't do that. I'm telling you as a friend. No, dude, I got a good like, well, that's just not, like, so then when you get it and it doesn't work, it's like, man, you told me what it was like. I told you so.
Yeah.
I told you so. It can be a weapon, and it can. It's like, I don't need you to tell me that right now. Just be my friend and be like, hey, let's see what we can do to fix it, or just listen to them, listening to you.
Or just be like, look, it happens to everybody once. Just be smarter.
Yeah, like, hey, I tried to tell you, it is what it is. Dude, you got, and let's just move on and see what we can do to get you something a little better. That's not weaponizing, like, all right, that's weaponizing, like, in a nicer way. Cause I wouldn't want you to be like after the show, like, you know what, get the hell out of my house.
Oh snap!
Like, I don't want you like, you know what, get the hell out of here. Like, oh, sorry, my bad. I'm just trying to say something. So the other part of that question was, what qualities look for in a friendship? Is it a natural bond that's built over time and exposure?
The
more you're around the person, the more you're exposed to
there's been cases where, like, at work, I built friendships, and I feel really close with those people, and that was not people I would have normally met and picked out to become friends with. But we became friends because of us having to be at the same place every time, like at 9 o'clock every day or whatever. And I mean, different age brackets, different, ethnicities, different hobbies they do, more kids, less kids, is in college, isn't in college. Like, there's so many, like, things that I wouldn't have normally been like, oh, that's what I'm used to hanging out with. So it's kind of opened that up, but it's strictly been just because of time and exposure to each other. That's interesting.
I've had quite a few friends that were. We'll get to that in a second, but I've had quite a few people I would consider possibly a friend because of where I worked at, and that exposure to them all day, every day for however many, well, actually 12 hours, and it's kind of like how they say you have your family at home and you have your work family, and it's so true because you're there every day and you're with them all the time, so you're going to get in arguments. And you're gonna have disagreements, and when you have those disagreements, you step aside, and if that person is somebody that you fight with, like your brother or sister, y'all step aside and talk about it, and then, well, in my case, we step aside because we're not in front of patients, and we'll talk about it, and then we're one unit again, and we're working together.
Yeah.
And then outside of work, we'll be out at the bar drinking or something. It's like, man, remember that we got into a fight about that, and and it, they just kind of laugh it off. But then, where the bond breaks is when you start working at that job. That's where I see it. From my experience, I see it break when you start working at a job, but then they come to the job you work at the next one. The psych world is a very small circle. So,
well, I mean, you can say that about any industry, but I think too that might have been sort of how it would go back in the day. But I think things are changing because of social media. Like, I'm able to keep up with friends from when I was working in the medical field, which was a decade ago. I still follow them on Facebook. I see, oh, so-and-so posted a picture of their family, and, oh, her husband finally graduated from college, so they're going to be getting some money now,
Yeah.
And, so I'm able to follow along with those things. And the cool thing, too, is because of that, I'm able to still connect with those people to, maybe use as references or get leads for jobs or something. So that's very useful as well.
Sometimes I feel like that sometimes that kind of brings up another point. Like I feel what you're saying. You can't keep up with people if you're on social media or whatever. But sometimes, do you feel like sometimes they're just Facebook friends?
Oh yeah, there's been. I've got a girlfriend that um.
Never met him in person.
No, I've met in person, and I didn't think that we particularly got along too well in person, but we're super cool.
Besties.
Actually, there was someone that I friended that we didn't get along at all in school, but
at Jesse?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
But we became Facebook friends because we had some mutual friends, and we ended up meeting in person, and we were cool. We were good. So it's just time. So we needed time and life to really hit us and make us see it's not that serious.
It's not that serious. Like, let it go. I've run across people that I didn't particularly talk to in high school. I see like they got married to each other or whatever, and I'll like the picture or whatever. But if we were to meet in person, I guess I'm still a little old school. Like, hey, let's go over here or so we meet there. But it's like I've always been with the pet peeve like that. No answer is an answer kind of thing. I think that's a new generational thing because for me, a simple yes or no is easier for me to let me know I move around. But I have gotten to the point where I have a cell phone, so if you don't call, I already know what's going on. But the friendship part of it is like, hey, I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you in years. I see her in town, but then they never message back, and you see they read the message. So,
but then this is something that I ran across the other day, and it was because I had somebody who, and I noticed I was starting to do it too. They'd be like, "Oh, well, you had time to do this, this, and this, but you didn't have any time to check your phone." Or they'll be like, "Oh, well, I see you are online on Facebook Messenger, and I texted you 20 minutes ago." So, but, someone snapped me out of it. I read a meme, and it was saying something like, nobody owns your time.
mm-hmm.
For all you know, that person could just be taking a break from life, and they're just scrolling through their feed to, just get away from it for, 10, 20 minutes. And nobody should make you feel bad for doing anything like that. They shouldn't feel like they own your time like that. So I've, kind of taken a step back, and I was like, I've been like, if they get to me, they get back to me. If they don't, they don't, I stopped clock watching on that.
I definitely just if they don't answer the message and there's been times where I'm on Messenger and I just completely missed the message. Did not see it. I totally didn't see it. A little circle pops up. I just bring it down or whatever. I put my phone down. I just completely miss it. So and half the time I don't even know I'm logged on. I'm like, man, I don't pay attention to that thing. Like, call me and tell me what you need. Because it's easier for you to call me than to text me, and then 20 minutes later I get an answer that you could answer in 2 seconds on the phone. But if you're busy or something's going on, it's easier to tell me, hey, I'm busy right now, but I'll call you back later or whatever. But I just kind of, like you said, I stopped clock watching. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Like, if you answer me, you answer me. You don't. And I just go about my business. Because I have a phone, which we're recording on right now. And then, like, hey, I'm like, hey, well, call me when you get done, or whatever, and then we'll go from there. So that leads me into the next, time and exposure is what kind of builds friendships and relationships, and especially work relationships. But that brings me to my next point: do friendships have a cultural aspect?
Mm,
What do y'all think? Do they have a cultural aspect?
I'm thinking on it. I'm really thinking on it. Only because, I can only speak to, living through my own experiences.
Of course.
If you are talking about like culturally like texts, and perhaps I can speak to. But I guess we just didn't have a lot of family that we were close to, my mom's side, because that's all I had. And then I didn't meet my dad, who was Hispanic, so I mean, like, I can't even process that.
Right.
I think I missed out on that experience a little. But from what I've witnessed from partners that I've had, I guess Persephone's dad, a lot of his friends were his cousins. To be honest with you, he's of Hispanic um, uh, ethnicity, and a lot of his friends were his cousins. But I mean, he had friends from school as well, and I've kind of seen a little bit of everything in his group. So, but I guess it's pretty. I feel like it's fairly diverse here in San Antonio.
San Antonio in particular is very diverse. You don't really see a lot of just one. I mean, certain areas you'll see um, cultural aspects there, and you kind of know what side of town you're on. But in my experience, I have a friend in every group. It doesn't really matter, and sexuality included.
Yeah.
If you're homosexual, transsexual. I don't want to get off subject, but I hear pansexual right now. Like, that's the new term. I don't get it, so I just kind of leave it alone. My niece told me, I was like, okay. They like what they like, apparently. So, well, that's a whole other subject. But anyways, the point is, I've had friends in every aspect, like culturally, diversity, that's real diverse. But I have seen where one group is like, it's a black group over here, it's a Hispanic group over here, it's an Asian group over here, there's the nerds over here, there's the jocks over here, especially Judson. You saw that all the time. Like, the jocks over here, the outcasts, and then you had kind of the loners. I was more of a loner. Like, I could kind of, and I was the same way in college too. Like, I could either be hanging out with you, and people that I consider my friends. Shout out to my boys from Angelo, but I could either hang with you. We call ourselves the crew, or if I was exiled at the moment, um, I was by myself, so I was a loner.
But exile, it implies that you were stricken from a group or something.
Yeah, I was cast
away.
I was cast away. I was cast away from that group because me and I guess you could say the leader, the alpha, got into it over. It was stupid. It was over a female.
Of course it was.
It was over a girl. Well, no, the first time was because I didn't want to partake in drinking that night. I'm done. So I'm done going to my room. I wasn't doing like the in crowd thing that day. So you got mad about that. Then next time when everybody kind of broke up, just stopped hanging out, or I stopped hanging out with them, was because of a female. And that particular girl, she kind of put a wedge in it because she was like, and I mean, we were young, so I laugh about it now, but she'd be in his room, who lived on the third floor, and I'd be in my room, I live on the second floor in B210. Shout out to Texas in B210. Don't just remember. That's a legend. That's a legend's room right there. This guy. Anyways, I lived in the room to the right. Anyways, so she called me. She said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "No, nothing. I'm just sitting in my room." And she like, "Well, I'm gonna come over." I'm like, "All right, cool." So next thing I know, I hear, I'm like, "What the hell?" I was like, "You just told me you were I thought she lived across town. She's like, oh, I was on campus. Let alone to know she was upstairs and she was coming downstairs. I'm like, damn. I was like, so what kind of friendship? That kind of goes back to this friendship now. What kind of friendship is this? Are we? What are you? What are you doing? Are you trying? I think at that point she was trying to choose, and that was driving a wedge between us. And I was like, hey man, look, I'm not trying to be for a female over a woman. And if that's who you want, and I wanted her, then have at it. Granted, by the way, they have 2 kids now. They have 2 sons.
Worked out for
yeah, so it worked out for them. But they have two. They have two sons now. I've met one of them. Beautiful family. No beef whatsoever. At this point, hell, I'm almost 35. That was years and years ago. But she, that was one of those like, what kind of friendship is this? Like, time and exposure, me like her being exposed to me and being exposed to her. She could sit in my room and I could go just do whatever, and she's just there. She was just another person in the room, but she was still my friend. And there was a boundary there that we never crossed. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. But I did have a little, like, there was a group. Every group I kind of fit in. Like, I kind of just be there and I just kind of go be there and go. And people knew me, so the locals, what we call the San Angelo people, we call them the locals. I didn't really hang out with them. I more so hung out with the college students, but there was little groups there. But I could go to any group and just kind of fit in. But most of it was like, we had the black group over here. You had the football players who were mostly black. You had the basketball players, and then all those things. So I think there can be a cultural aspect to friendships. Not saying you have to hang out with one culture or the other. Give yourself, be diverse, because you never know who you're gonna meet, But it was one of those things. Because there was an example I was gonna say that there. The example was he or she is black, so I thought he would know them. You know what I'm saying?
Does that happen?
I've had that happen a lot.
Wow.
Oh, hey, he's black. I'm right. Like, the fuck? What the fuck you mean? Like because he's black, I'm supposed to know him.
Maybe that's your cousin or something.
Hey, is that your cousin? Like, really? I mean,
you don't even look anything alike.
I don't look nothing like this person. I've never met them in my life, and you telling me that I should know them. And well, they're black, right? So you should know them. Like, no, I don't know them.
The way it works.
I don't know them. I never met them in my life. This person's looking at me. I'm looking at him like, how you doing? Now I know him. As far as that's concerned, like we're introducing names, but just because I'm black don't mean I know you, and don't mean I'm gonna like you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna like you. I mean, we're not supposed to just all of a sudden, oh, because we're black, we have to stick together. No. Mm-mm. And sometimes we tend to gravitate towards what we know and what we find comfortable, whether we know the person or not. Therefore, it seems like a friendship is already there. And my example of that was Carl and Q. I work with them. I figured they knew each other because they were talking so much. And I was like, you and Carl know each other, right? He's like, no, man. He's like, no, we black, so that's what we do. Talk to each other. I said, I was like, I could have sworn because we're working together to take care of the patient. That's why y'all were talking, to kind of get to know each other so you can actually not be awkward when working with each other, not because he's black.
So that's a thing then, okay.
It is. It truly is. Like, people truly, like, get that mixed up. And y'all tell me if I'm lying. Leave it in the comments. Tell me if I'm lying. Is there that stereotype out there like, oh, well, I figured because you're black, or the one I always get, hey Ben, hey FlyGuy, you like chicken and watermelon? Like, well, yeah, I do, but first of all, I like watermelon flavor. I don't necessarily like watermelon all the time. Number one. Number two, ain't nobody's chicken better than my mama's chicken. So I'm just saying, well, fight me if you want to. I'm telling you, nobody's chicken better than my mama's chicken or mine. So I call my mama. So there you go. Now.
Sorry, I was just thinking about chicken and watermelon. It sounded good. Not together, of course.
Now we're gonna have to go get some chicken and watermelon later
I'm
too.
thinking like a fruit cup and some chicken sandwiches from Popeyes.
I mean, it's in the area. Yeah, that's chicken and watermelon, or a fruit cup.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they got the chunks of watermelon in the fruit cup. Anyways, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. How long does it take, or what does it take for you to consider someone a friend? How long do y'all think it takes for you to consider somebody a friend? How long do you take to consider?
I'm trying to think.
It takes me a little while now.
I'm trying to think what was the shortest amount of time it took for me to make a friend. Actually, you know what? There's a friend that I made at in the community, in the fetish community, and we went to like 3 different events. So like we showed up to like 3 different events, and I saw her at all of them, and she was just really friendly and outgoing with everybody, and we're not alike whatsoever. She's got like 5 children, and I only have the one. She is mid to late 40s, which I'm, early to mid 30s. So we're in completely different
categories,
completely different ethnicities. She's, I don't know if she's regularly into younger men. Her partner is a younger man, my age, and that's just, it's not a group that I pursue, so like we differ in that as well. There's just like, we're very different people, but because I saw her at these events, we had something in common, which is an interest in something that's not considered the norm. So, and she was outgoing, so it'll work out. We're good. We keep an eye out for each other. We share drinks sometimes. She messaged me yesterday to ask if I was going, but my car is out of commission right now, so. Yeah,
unfortunately it is.
But that's a good friend, and she actually offered to come get me. We have not been friends that long. She offered to come get me, and I was like, no, I was like, no big deal. I already made plans. No, I'm out at the thrift store, so. Yeah, but she offered.
That is a good friend. I don't really have a timeline on how long it takes somebody to consider somebody a friend. My circle, though I seem outgoing on these shows, I promise I am. But I have a small circle, and I don't let people into that circle, because once you let them into that circle, they're into your life. And when they're in your life, you don't want them to just be in and out, in and out, in and out. So for me to consider somebody a friend, one friend I've had for a long time. I've known him since I came back. It was in 2012. His name is Derek. And we haven't talked in a while. I actually texted him the other day and said, hey man, how's it going? What you been up to? We need to catch up. Because he moved out to Timbuktu by Taft. And him and his girlfriend moved out there to her house. And I was like, damn bro, I gotta start from food and water to get to you. And now I know him, I know his sons, his daughters, and it didn't take me long to consider a friend. Probably about, I think, again, time and exposure. We met at the gym. Actually met at the gym while I was working out by myself. I said, hey man, can you spot me? He's like, yeah man, you ever working out with us? And then we ended up working on Little Ridge together. It didn't take long. It took about probably a few months. Not even a year. It didn't take very long. But like I said, most people I don't let you automatically. I don't automatically let you in. I gotta feel you out first. Are you gonna answer the phone? Are you just too busy? Are you need somebody to talk to every once in a while, or are you gonna follow through with what you do?
Yeah.
Like you, for instance. you follow through with
I do my best. I do my best.
Well,
it's been a hard couple weeks for me here. I'm telling you, my vehicle broke down on the road in the middle of driving, and it wasn't like just a side street. It was a major highway. The major highway here.
And then I was like, what happened? Are you okay? What's going on? Because I was like, hey, all right. Oh, man, my car's okay.
Yeah, and my kid was in it, so it was pretty scary. But that was back on like the 4th or 5th of the month, and it's already getting pretty close to Christmas. But it's actually going to be taken care of on Tuesday, so that's good. Thank God, finally.
Well, what I was saying is that I'm not saying you don't follow through. I'm saying you try to follow through.
I do my best.
So, hey, life happens, but I was just happy that y'all were okay. I was like, the main thing is you're okay. I need Pepper Potts and her daughter here. I don't need to be going to sing in a pine box or anything like that. So, glad you're all right. Pound it. Right there. Boom. I dropped the mic. Anyways, there are 3 categories of friends. And you all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm about to tell you. The first is the acquaintance. You know what an acquaintance is? The acquaintance. This type of friend is in and out. They never truly commit to plans. Often there are excuses as to why they cannot attend or tend to not want anything to do with it. May call you as a last resort out of boredom, or call when they need something. We do not tend to think of these type of people as type of person as a friend, but still bond with them in some form. Example, some coworkers, shared interests, etc. And what were you gonna say?
That's the sup guy.
The sub guy.
You know,
sup,
the guy. That's just sending the sup text, and then at like 11:30 at night, and I was like, I don't know. You tried to message me just to ask me like if we're still on for the next day, and it'll be 10:30, and I don't answer because I'm asleep. And like you'd be like, "What's up?" Like, not me. I'm knocked out. Get this one. You're gonna love this one. I have not told anybody this one, but the other night I was outside, just getting some fresh air, and I get this text from a number that I don't recognize.
Right.
And it's late. It's definitely after 9, so it's not like a telemarketing thing or whatever.
Right.
It was a text, and it was like, "Hey there, interested in a massage?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I was like."
Do I know you?
First of all, I was like, I didn't know who it was, but I was like, my interest was piqued because I was like, I am a little tense, I was like, I had to go down the rabbit hole to see who it was I was talking to. This is. And it was somebody that I had spoken to like years ago, and I tried to keep up with them, like try to keep in contact with them when we were texting back and forth, but eventually that person ghosted me. Well, fast forward to the other night, I'm sitting outside, catching the breeze, and I get this sup message. And I was like, this is not even an acquaintance.
Right.
And
like, that's what? That's a go. You know what? That's a whole other podcast. Well, I think.
But you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I think.
Like that's one. When you're talking about that, you're like when they're bored.
When they're bored. Yeah.
I was like, my thought is, how bored did this person have to be to scroll back through years of text?
I haven't talked to her in a while.
And I was like, yeah, no.
Interested in massage?
I'm
a little tense.
Yeah, but not like. Obviously, I was just like, "What is this?" Maybe it was an ad. I don't know, but yeah, it turns out it was somebody that I actually had known. was real weird. Anyway, so sorry about that.
So, that's actually kind of funny because I should have put ghost in here too, like ghosting. That's a whole nother podcast. We could talk about ghosting forever. But ghosting is I hate when people ghost. And that's why like they often don't. I said it often don't. They often tend to not want anything to do with it and make call as last resort of boredom, or when they need something, or they go ghost. And like the ghosting thing is like, I'm like, man, look, if I don't really talk to you that much, like I have some acquaintances that I actually talk to quite a bit, but they're not necessarily friends because I don't talk to them that much. Like if I need something or I tend to try to depend on myself because people suck. I'm just gonna say it. People suck. They're flaky. Not you. I know your situation. I know your situation. I'm not talking about you. I promise. But and if you feel I'm talking about you, like don't take it the wrong way.
If you are just own it. I guess just be like,
just own it and say, hey,
be like, hey, you know what? That was not cool of me. I'm sorry.
I like, hey, yeah, I am flaky. My bad. And just kind of call it a day. But it's like acquaintances. It's like if don't have nothing to do for them, it's nothing to do with them, or it could be somebody you knew back in the day, and you haven't talked to like your friend or not friend, the acquaintance. Not even half of an acquaintance comes back from blast from the past, just never, from the dead. Haven't talked to him forever, and it wasn't really like oh hey, I haven't seen you in years, and you pick up where you left off. That's an acquaintance. It's kind of like, well, I'm not the same person I was back then, and when we did meet, it wasn't necessarily like we're gonna be friends forever kind of thing. So you have your acquaintances, and then they go back to the same. They go back to the same thing, ghosting you when you call, don't really text back. No answer is an answer kind of thing. So those are your acquaintances. Second one. You ready for the second one?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The second one is the homie. That's you. You the homie.
All right.
Homie. Right there. Boom. She's the homie. So the homie. This friend you tend to call to on a more regular basis. I do call you on a more regular basis.
Yeah, you
do. you may not talk to them all the time, but not talk to them all the time, but regularly catch up and get the 411 on the latest news. They usually follow through on plans unless something legit happens for them to cancel.
Like your car falling apart.
Like your car falling apart. Like your ball joint is falling apart. And they can be male or female. Intergender mix is allowed in this category. So when guys and ladies, I'm telling you this, gentlemen, when you say, "Hey, she's the homie," ladies, that's what he means. She's the homie. So he's not looking at her as. You should look at her as competition. If he's saying he's with you, he's with you. So when the homie calls, whether it's his homeboy or homegirl, you should look at it the same way until he or she shows you different.
And let's just keep it real. I mean, if that dude is calling this chick his homie, more than likely it was that chick that set the boundary. So just please realize she's not going to necessarily be after your man. I'm just saying, because
she friend-zoned him. And I've seen it happen multiple times, and it's like an automatic friend zone. She's like, hey, look, my boyfriend or my partner or whoever, and that's automatic. I'm letting you know. I do not want to bother with you. I'm not on the market. I'm friend zoning you. So when I say, yes, my girlfriend, but we're, we like you cool, you can be the homie.
That's also friend zoning.
That's friend zoning also. Well, that's
setting that boundary.
That's a male way of friend zoning. Like, hey, yeah, my girlfriend, we'll go call her real quick. But You're like, you still don't me though, you know what I'm saying? She like,
well, I mean, we do that too. We're like, oh, that's my friend. That's my friend. We specifically, oh yeah, that's my friend. Specifically address it as that. So, and if
now
we want to be with somebody, oh yeah, no, that's.
Now my special friend, that's my friend. Not my special friend, that's my friend. Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
You're specifically
like, oh,
saying that's
friend.
my. Well, because you know people have like their special. Okay.
So okay, no,
okay, let's be for real.
Let's correct the term. Okay, we'll say special friend. Like, that's my girl.
Yeah, that's my girl. That's the main. That's the main one. Or that's my man.
But when you say that, when you like, oh, you say that's my girl, that could be interpreted two different ways. Like, oh yeah, no, that's my. You know.
Well, if I say that's my homegirl, that's the homie. That's what I'm saying. If I say that's my girl, it has a different tone you use to like that's my girl.
I was getting ready to say no. I had a friend that would sometimes refer to me as that, but like, oh no, that we'd previously dated, so no, there probably was.
It's probably a little possessive at point in time, and that's another question, ladies and gentlemen. Can you be friends with your exes? Can you really? I mean, some are, some aren't.
I'm thinking back to all mine now. I'm not saying it like there's a whole bunch, so like I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying.
Of course not. I mean, everybody has different experiences. I'm sure you haven't just, had like one or two.
Well, because I get along with Persephone's dad pretty well. But it's definitely a very. When I say that, it's definitely very platonic. So like, there's not ever any of that. Oh, maybe the line's going to get crossed. Maybe it's not. No, it's for sure not. That's off the table. So
I don't like my baby mama. I don't like her at all.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, there's obviously a reason why, but I mean, like,
but I can get along with her.
I have people that I've dated and had romantic relationships with that I am that I would say I'm platonic with. And, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that person is not physically attractive to me still, because that if you got a type, you got a type,
Everybody has a type.
But I'm not emotionally attracted to that person the same way, which makes the difference, Like,
it's a lot of difference.
Yeah, so I mean, like, that's not gonna have to be something that would need to be worried about either, because I'm already in the headspace that no, we're not like that. And then, so we got to get along with, is platonic. Have I ever had feelings for somebody after? Yeah, I have to say that's been the case too.
My girlfriend now has a friend that he was her ex, and she asked me one time. She's like, she asked me before. She's like, would you be upset that I'm, talking to him? I said, well, because kids probably watch this show. I'm gonna say it like this. Are you currently doing anything now? She's like, no. Then why would I worry about it? I wasn't there when y'all were dating. Mm-hmm. I didn't know you at the time. And even if I did, it wasn't any of my business. So what you decide to tell me is what you tell me. I have no right to get angry or upset about it. And if I find out about it later, I really can't get mad about it, because if you're not doing anything now, then I'm like, well, you could have told me beforehand. But there's really just like that. They had that fear of you getting jealous. I'm just not the jealous type. I don't care. You're going to do what you do. You're going to talk to people. I mean, the world is made for everybody to talk to everybody. Now, how you talk, how long you talk, and what you're talking about does matter. But I'm not going to be like on the other line, like, what y'all talking about? What you doing? I got things to do. I got money to make. I'm at work. I'm not worried about who you talk to. Like, I'm gonna trust that you're doing what you need to do, and if if you're talking to your ex or whatever, and y'all aren't talking about like trying to reconnect, then I'm not worried about it because they're an ex for a reason, whether in bad terms or whatever the case may be. Have I had some that have tried to come back, or we would speak and I just don't feel nothing? Yeah, plenty of them. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, how you been? I just happened to see him on Facebook or whatever. You know, they become a Facebook friend.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? I saw, you know, I see you and old boy getting married. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. And I actually do mean it, but they think I'm being like an asshole. I'm like, I'm not really, I'm really being genuine when I say it. Like, hey, you know, take care of my problems, bro. I'm good. So you do what you do. Like, but everybody there's somebody for everybody, and I know we say this as men, we say every woman is crazy. Well, how much crazy can you deal with? Well, I'm gonna say every human being has a certain amount of psychosis. It's just what kind of psychosis can you deal with?
Yeah.
Because I'm a human being, she's a human being. So it's not just males or females. It's what kind of psychosis can you deal with? Because everybody got something in there. It just like that, and all of a sudden it's Jekyll and Hyde right there. You know, it's like you're going from Jekyll to Mr. Hyde, and all of a sudden it's like ah. So what can you deal with, and how long are you going to deal with?
And what are you going to deal with?
What are you going to deal with? So I don't deal with liars. Okay, well if you're calling him narcissistic, he's probably a liar too.
I was telling one of my girlfriends because she's single and she's like, man, I'm just trying to find a guy, but I just don't trust him. I was like, well, I mean, everybody lies. I mean, not like blatant, I'm gonna hurt you all the time lies. I mean, there's some people that do that, but I mean, we all lie to an extent.
Extent, yes.
Yeah.
We all do lie.
Sometimes it's definitely not intentional. Sometimes it's very intentional. I was like, you got to figure out which guy is going to lie and say he liked your food one night, and then figure out which dude is going to lie and say that he doesn't have a second family, and you know he's funneling money out of your checking account. Like, you got to find the first guy, not the second guy. That's all. That's all that you know. That's the goal. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's the goal. You want to find that one that's gonna, like, you know, little white lies like that, but you don't want to have. And I did not mean that.
He's not saying go be telling lies, but I mean, like, sometimes like Steve Harvey says, take the X. You know, just hell yeah, that food was good.
Exactly, and if y'all are my normal viewers that you are watching. Go to my red flags video, and it says fresh out the slammer. Well, you just watch the video. You'll understand what I'm saying, because that was about a 7-minute video where I was pretty much letting everybody know once you see red flags, it ain't gonna change. Like, so either you deal with them or you walk away. So the last one. You ready for this one?
All right, I'm ready.
The last type of friend that you're going to have. You're going to have all three of these in your life. Hopefully. At some point in time. The A1 since day one. This friend is down for the cause. You down for the cause? Possibly. Act first, ask questions later. Example, I killed somebody. Response, where we hide the body?
Oh, yeah.
You can go without speaking for years and pick up right where you left off. They are your ride or die and can sense something is off. Hey man, was thinking about you. How you been? And this friend knows all your secrets, good and bad. Essentially, they are your personal Pandora's box.
Mm.
That's a hell of a friend.
I got a couple of those.
That's a hell of a friend.
I got these two girlfriends. One was I met her when I was in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other girlfriend of mine, I met when I was in 10th grade, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So like they've been around for a long time because I'm fairly old, you know, and
Ain't that damn old.
so those would be considered, I guess, ride or dies. But I actually have I got a friend of the opposite gender that we actually dated, and then it didn't work out. But we stayed cool afterwards, and I mean, just the other day we were talking about mechanics for the car and everything for my Jeep to get it fixed. So he was like, "Oh, just you know, he sent me a number. He's like, tell so and so that I sent you, and they'll be familiar, and they'll help you out with the pricing." So like I've got somebody like that, and I dated them, but that there's not the potential for it to get extracurricular. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the intention with helping me out was
just to actually help you.
Yeah. So.
You don't see a lot of genuine people out there anymore. Genuinely, it's kind of hard to understand who's actually there to help you and who wants something out of it. In particular, in my personal case, if I tell you if you need help, call me, that's what I actually mean. If I'm not in the middle of doing something, or I'm not with my girlfriend and the kids, hey, or if I am and they're with me, I'm like, hey, well, my girlfriend's with me, but we'll help you out real quick. That's what genuine people do. Yeah. But sometimes there's always this motive of, if I do this for you, what you gonna do for me? So, you gonna do a strange for some change, or we just like, no, we ain't like that no more? Oh, my bad, I ain't know. You know what I mean? And it gets kind of hairy and real disrespectful, because it's like, you gonna say it's right in front of her man, or or his woman, or or I can't speak on experiences I will never have, but if it's a same sex couple, or you gonna say that in front of that person's significant other? How far down the rabbit hole, as you were talking about earlier, on the massage? How far down the rabbit hole are you gonna go? You gotta find a light somewhere. So the A1 since day one. Do I have one of those? Yes, I have some. I have some A1s. Derek is one of them. He's like, I can call him up. Hey man, like I said, let's text him all day. Hey man, how's everything going? We gotta hang out or whatever. I'm a little different, because I don't let people in as easily. So it's kind of hard for people. Like, people know what I want them to know. And I'm gonna tell y'all that now. You gonna know I want you to know this. So if you think you know me from watching these shows, you don't. You don't know me from watching these shows. I tell you what I want you to know. I tell you, you see what I want you to see.
We'll post a comment. Maybe you could get to know him.
Post a comment, you might get to know me. Hey, so FlyGuy, what's your favorite color? Blue. But I'm wearing red. FlyGuy, what do you do for extracurricular activities? I won't tell you unless you post a comment. So comment, like, and subscribe. Just gonna say that. Ask Pepper Potts questions too. She has a lot to say. See my thumbs? This way. Ask her questions. Ask questions. I'm gonna ask you. Do you have an acquaintance? Do you have the homie? And do you have an A1 since day one? And you can have more than one in each one of those categories. But those are your 3 categories. So, those are 3 categories. And our last but not least, last thing we're going to say, expectations of a friendship between males and females. This is where it gets a little dicey. Okay. What are your expectations of an intergender friendship?
Not to be objectified.
How so?
Like, it's okay to make humor, for me anyways, everybody's experience is very different. It's okay to make humor. Like, I don't have problems making like jokes about sex or whatever with a friend of the opposite sex. Just as long as it's not about us having sex.
Right.
Like, if I make a joke about, you know, a dude and his anatomy, like, I can talk about that with my opposite sex friend, and it won't be an issue. But when we start talking about it being like him or like him and me or something, like that's crossing the line. That's like, nope. Yeah, I don't want to have mixed signals involved or anything. So it's like, no, I'm gonna take that down.
And it sends a lot of mixed signals when you say things like that, because he or she may, because I've had, making jokes or whatever, and this I've learned from this. This was years ago. You can't make jokes like that because they start to think like, oh, well, so what you trying to say? Yeah, so what you trying to say? You trying to like, nah, I ain't like that. I'm like, you the homie, like, remember?
You're the acquaintance, no?
Yeah. Now you finna be the acquaintance, because it's like we ain't finna do all that. Like, nah, because once you cross that boundary, you can't come back. It's already crossed, and then it's like, are you gonna be the acquaintance, or am I just gonna cut you off? Period. Are you just gonna be a Facebook friend?
Oh yeah.
Facebook friends, the ones you never see. You're never gonna see them in person. You may talk to them on the phone every once in a while, and it might be a freaking catfish for that matter. So, those of you that say you got a Facebook girlfriend, make sure it's not a dude or a girl. If you're not,
unless that's what
unless that's what you want, you're cool with that. But for the simple fact that they lie, I don't like liars. So,
or it's not even about liking a liar, it's that they feel uncomfortable about themselves, and obviously they need to get that worked on before they're ready for a relationship.
I.e., you lied. in my perspective, you lied, and the fact that you lied is going to resonate with me more than the fact that you hid your identity, you changed exactly who you are. It could have been a friendship at least, but you just screwed that up because you lied in the first place. So Catfish, y'all keep doing what y'all doing because I love that show. I haven't seen any new ones. Have you seen?
Oh God, I would sometimes get stuck in a loop of YouTube videos watching Catfish.
Man, it's that show.
Have you seen the documentary?
How he got catfished? Like,
yeah.
No, but I think that's how he started catching people. So
yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, wow, you gotta watch it.
Hey, Neve actually has a wife and kid now, but I think he started helping people out. He's like, yo, you been catfished, bro.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, that's that dude. They're putting in work, but I haven't seen anything new lately.
I don't know. What other standards would you say?
For males, for me, my expectation is let's be on the same page. We're not trying to be here to we're not gonna be trying to be cross that line of any extracurricular activities. We're just chill. You could be in my apartment, sitting in my kitchen talking shit, and I'm sitting there talking shit right back to you. Or you go sit on the couch and I'm sitting in my chair, or I sit next to you on the couch. It doesn't matter. Nothing is going to resonate. I'm just sitting here. You're just sitting there, and my girlfriend walks in the door. Hey, I didn't know you were here. Or I told, hey, oh girl over here, whatever. And we're just watching it just like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have the ones that you have to watch what you're doing, because if you don't, you might get too comfortable and you forget they're female. And you like, stop playing, or do something like that.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a thing if you're in a monogamous relationship, but maybe if that's been worked out and you're not in a monogamous relationship, then that's a completely different story.
If you're in a monogamous relationship, everything should be cool, but you gotta just make sure you watch what you're doing. And from what I've my own experience is at the point is how would you feel if this was me and if I did this and that, like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
And instead of arguing about it and fighting and yelling and screaming, it's like, just tell me what the problem is. It's like, fix it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm gonna tell you ladies too. Tell us what the problem is so we can fix it. Don't expect us to, well, you know why I'm mad. I don't know why you're mad, so I'm asking. And don't yell. Talk to him. I'm sure you can hear. If he has a hearing problem, just get close to his ear and say, this is why I'm mad. And then talk to him.
I've had it where I was like, oh, I'm gonna be really clear with my communication, and it just went in one ear and out the other.
Still didn't resonate?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how much simpler I can break this down.
Well,
So,
I didn't.
All I know is I did my due diligence. I sent the message. If you didn't get it, that's your problem, not mine.
Damn. Okay. Do you have the same expectations when it's opposite gender? So it's like, what are your expectations in an intergender relationship? So to like a male and female.
Would I expect him to follow those same things?
In your case.
Oh,
so you're a friend with a male, and then when it's the opposite gender, meaning or same gender, I guess you could say, a female. Do you have the same expectations you have with the female as
like
a friend?
how I don't want this dude to be stepping on my boundaries?
Right. Do you have the same expectations with a female? Or is it different?
Stepping on my boundaries or stepping, like, as a female stepping on his boundaries?
No, so let's say I'm friends with you.
Okay.
We don't cross a boundary. We do
We're
podcasts.
gonna say it? Are we cool?
We are cool, right?
Okay, well, I'm making sure, because you're like, I'm gonna say we're friends. So I was like,
well, I know we are cool, man. You the homie. Like, I got you.
Okay, I'm making sure.
You the homie. Sure. I got you.
Okay, we're gonna say we're friends.
This is. I promise we're friends. We are, and she's actually kind of A1 since day one because when do we reconnect? And we ain't talked for how long? We talked for a long minute, and then I just happened to see her on Facebook, and she made a comment, and I was like, I still need you on my podcast, and here we are. So that kind of equates to A1 since day one. No, yes, we are friends. So
What do you mean, like if I'm are you asking if I hold that same standard to myself as I would for the guy? Like, yeah, don't be making nasty jokes about, like, it's okay to make nasty jokes, like make dirty jokes, but don't be making dirty jokes about me and you, or like, you get what I'm saying?
Right. So the same expectation you have for me and you as friends, do you have that same expectation for
myself?
No, another female that's your friend.
Oh.
And the same expectations we have here, or do you have different expectations because she's the same gender?
Oh, so would I expect her to treat her potential partners?
No, you.
Oh.
You okay. Jennifer has me as a friend, and then she has another homegirl over here. Okay? Now, we have certain expectations because we're male and female, mm-hmm. right? Two human beings, but we're of opposite sex. You have certain expectations for our friendship, for it to work.
So you're asking, like, would it be okay if Jen makes dirty jokes? And I'd be okay with that. Yeah,
when you're with Jen.
My friend.
When you're with your friend that is also named Jen.
Yeah, no, my longest running friend, actually, her name's Jen, so.
Okay, so.
And the other girlfriend I have, like, she's married, so I was like, make sure I just get a single friend in my story here.
Yeah, so if you have Jen and you have me, and then like, so let's say we're doing this podcast, she sees it and she's like, what the hell? Like, oh yeah, I must be really cool, but do you have the same expectations you put in this friendship? Do you put the same ones in that friendship too? No. Why?
Why? Because my best friend that's a female has touched my breast before, and I was like, I mean, I was shocked, but I knew she was joking.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to be like, well, I mean, like, when I was talking to her, I was like half asleep, but I was definitely awake afterwards. I'm like, whoa. And she's like, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And I was like, I know. I was like, but don't do that again because I wasn't even wearing a bra.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was like, you gotta go home.
you got to go.
Well, it was like super late anyways, and I was like, obviously I need to go to bed because I just went through an ordeal right now. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't treat it the same because I don't feel like that it will ever, like, be misconstrued that there's a romantic relationship developing there just because of our orientation. So I guess that could be different for people who are flexible with their sexuality. But yeah, like, as in my girlfriends, we joke around all the time about stuff like that. And it's not a big deal, but it's because, you know, I know they don't actually mean it, so it's just a joke.
Yeah, I've had. I guess I could say that. I guess I could say the same. One of the homeboys, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, man, so because we talk about different guy things or whatever, and I have to remember when I'm around you or another female, I have to remember that she's there, and she's a female. So now I ain't gonna lie. Back in the day, you hang with the boys, you got it all. You got it all.
You got to hear everything.
You got to hear everything. Like, that's just what you guys talk about. Like, yeah, that's what we do all the time. But now being that I am a girl dad, I don't think I want my daughter hanging around a bunch of jocks or hippies or bunch of guys.
Did you say hippies?
I was gonna say hippies, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Hippies are a bunch of guys.
I'm okay with hanging out with hippies. They're cool. They're chill.
Some of them just be too weird for me. I'm like what? I was like, maybe I let me get that real quick. Oh, okay, now I see what you're talking about. But anyways, with that being said, like my expectations, they change when it's different roles. So like my expectations here, obviously we know lines not to cross. When I'm with my boys, we know lines not to cross there, but we can kind of like joke around or whatever, and we just keep that in that circle. But when I come here around you and your partner or boyfriend, I don't say partner, boyfriend, I know what expectations to have. You know what I'm saying? So I can't have the same expect. I can't put it. It doesn't just fit. The square never fits in the triangle. It's gonna fit in the square box, and then the triangle's gonna fit in the triangle.
But the triangle also can fit in the square box too, and so can the half moon, and so can the round one.
Yeah.
There's a video about that. Well, the only thing I learned is to be the square box.
So everything can fit in there. So you're like universal.
I meant like blending with people.
Yeah, you just fit in wherever.
Yeah.
Like I did. I just fit in wherever. I was kind of there. Like, who's that? Oh, it's been.
Fit in, like, that's everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
That's true. So, next question. When you speak to the opposite gender, is there a primarily or was it? When you speak to the opposite gender, is there primarily or was it within this general vicinity? Like, I see you're, over here, like, across the room. Nobody else to talk to. Like, hey, what's up? I get the, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
And I walk over and it's like, hey, so what you here for? Oh, just going to jail or whatever.
Oh my.
Or just going to see the judge or whatever.
Like, this is apparently when people meet their future spouse at court.
Oh, yeah. Met him at court. I'm here for a divorce.
That's probably not the best place to meet your future spouse, just saying.
Just don't do that. All right. Yeah. Marriage. Anyways, that's just my opinion. But don't listen to Fly Guy. Get married. Go have wedding bills. Go have a bunch of kids and never
make
get
good choices.
Make very good choices and wear condoms, please. Please wear condoms. Anyways, well, I guess that question basically means like, is a person in a general vicinity, like, is it a gender? It's like it doesn't matter who's there. It just happens to be a female. She's in a general vicinity, so we're standing in line at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So I start talking to you. Doesn't mean I have an interest or whatever. We're just talking.
Yeah.
So sometimes are they in general vicinity, or did I make it a point to go talk to them?
Do you?
It depends. If I really feel I need to talk to them, then I will. But usually, most of the time, usually generally about any time, they usually just happen to be in the vicinity. Like, they just happen to be there. I'm standing in line talking to somebody or whatever. And that's just because I'm a friendly person. I've always been that way. I'm not really going to change. I can't just be like, go from, friendly to not friendly. That's just me.
I'm usually pretty keep to myself type of person.
I know.
Like when I go to events, fetish events, I usually let people come up to me, just because. Yeah, I'll be the bug lamp, and like I'll let all the butterflies come to me instead. But it's just because I am socially awkward a little bit, and so they probably start an easier conversation than myself. So, but there is on occasion, for example, this this lady over at HEB the other day. We were in the same, I guess, distance in the line, but she was in the line next to us. I noticed that she had a purse really, really similar to mine, but I kind of liked hers better, and I was going to ask her where she got it from, but I chickened out. So, but I could have initiated a conversation and maybe even a friendship that way, by her being, in the immediate proximity. But usually I struggle with that, and so I just let other people come to me. So the Bens, I'll let the Bens come to me.
And I'm the complete opposite. I'll come to you. I can see you standing in a corner, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? So what you doing? What you doing over here? What's over here? Like, so what's going on? How you doing? What's your name?"
Yeah.
I had a buddy that when I was in college, I was downstairs. I walked downstairs, and he was sitting on a bench like this. He's sitting on the bench. He's like this. So I look at him. I just guys, you throw him out like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
He's like, "What's up?" So he gets up, comes to me. He's like, "So you go to school here?" I'm like, well, "Obviously, yeah." I go to school here.
You're like, no, I'm just here for a visit.
I'm just visiting all the girls.
Seeing the sights.
I'm just saying, yeah, I go to school here, man. He's like, "Oh, well, my name is Dave. My name is David," and then we started talking, and that's how we ended up becoming friends in school. I haven't talked to him in years. It's been a while, but that was one of those things. Like, we ended up becoming friends because he came to me, but I initiated the contact by saying, how guys do that. Guys, it's just simple like, "What's up, man? What's up? Hey, man, you know what? Such that. Well, yeah, just follow me, man. You go over here. So, hey, I'm such wherever. Hey, we on a hooper lady. If you want to play." And here he comes with his, Air Jordans and the pants. I just remember one guy. His name was Tyrone McClarty. I'll never forget him. Tyrone McClarty. Man, if you see this, hit me up, dude. I have not seen you in years. I just want to know how you're doing. That guy, the most interesting person in the world. And I mean, it's just the nicest guy you ever met in your life. He walk up to you and say, "How you doing? Tyrone McClarty, how you doing?" And he'd shake your hand, strong grip. And he would come in, and he had these old school shorts, way up here, right? He's like, "Hey, I want to play some basketball?" And I'm like, we're all looking at him like, this there you go, dude. Man, he was tearing us a new one on the court. You hear me? I'm talking about this dude's up and down the court, jump. I mean, just hustle all day.
Those shorty shorts were aerodynamic.
And they must have been, because dude was like, I said, dude, do you lift weights? He's like, no, I just walk and drink chocolate milk. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell? This dude was like, I mean, he was just so interesting. And I'm like, this dude, and he had no care in the world. He was just Tyrone. He was just Tyrone. Yeah, like, and everybody would say, like, man, that is the nicest dude you will ever meet in your life. And everybody said, you mess with him, I'm gonna mess you. I'm gonna have to mess you up. And I was the same way. I was like, yo, man, leave him alone. Like, he's just Tyrone. Like, I haven't seen him in, oh my God, it's been years. But that dude was just, I'll never forget him. He was just the most interesting person you ever met in your life. Like, he was just interesting guy, quirky, you know, kind of just an interesting dude. So, hey, man, if you see this, please leave a comment. Let me know how you've been doing, man. Like, I just want to know how you're doing. I hope everything's going good for you. So, that was that question. I know it was kind of a loaded question. But the next one is, when you speak to the opposite gender, is there... Oh, wait. Sorry, where did that one? Last question, but not least. What factors help you decide whether someone is a friend or someone you may pursue?
That is the question of the hour.
How do you put them in the friend zone, or how do you know, like, hey, I'm going to pursue this?
That's tough to say, because there's people I've known that are going straight to the friend zone, and within an hour of conversation. I'd like to say I give everybody an hour to help me make my decision once upon meeting them. And, you know, as, you know, like, say if there was a long split in our friendship where we hadn't seen each other, like, I reanalyze
who you are at that time,
who they are. Yeah, absolutely. I calculate all these things out. And then there's some people where I'm like, I'm going to table the issue for a little bit because I'm not sure. So they haven't been ruled out, but they haven't been, like, logged in as potential either, you know? I'm just not sure. I'm on the fence about it. And then there's been people, I mean, like, this sounds bad, but I mean, like, I've had a one-night stand before, so...
I think we all have.
I mean, like, obviously that person did not get friend zoned, and they did not get friend zoned right away. It's like you can move straight to the front of the line.
Yeah, and I mean, we all had our younger days, and some might still be doing it in their older days.
No regrets.
No regrets here. Just saying. Now,
how do you determine that? You know what? It's hard to say. I'm not sure what it was that made that guy get sent straight to the front of the line. I feel like maybe it was just...
could have been situational, too. It could have been at the moment.
Our personalities just meshed well. Like, with how we communicated. And, I mean, verbally and non-verbally as well. Whereas some people... maybe they just completely missed the mark with the communication.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some people who are, like, right in the middle, and they're like, I get you, but I'm not, like, I'm missing the, like, if they were playing music, I'm not hitting the notes at the right time. So I need to get better at this. But because I realize there's some potential there, because, you know, they're hitting certain key words and things like that. I'm not gonna say no yet. We'll give them another shot.
Give them a little shot, yeah. Give them maybe another run at the goal.
How about you? Now I'm curious if you have that kind of system.
Okay, so guys some guys have a dive in head first system. Some guys have a I'm guarded but I'm trying system, and some guys have a I'm guarded. I'm diving. I'm guarded now. So let me figure it out kind of system. My system is more of a I'm guarded. I want to know who you are. I got to get to know you. And once I get to know you, I'll kind of figure it out from there. But I know, as a guy, I know key factor is how to not be put in the friend zone. Because you women, I'm just gonna say, women, y'all are so good at putting them in the friend zone immediately, and then you figure out when you want to pull them out. Now the question is he going to allow you to pull them out after you've made it clear that you want to be friends, and now all of a sudden you want to go out of that, you want to cross that boundary. So
what you're talking about is having a change of heart.
Yes, a change of heart.
Yeah, I would say let's just say it in a nicer way, because sometimes someone might not be in the right headspace to be with somebody at that time. Maybe that person is perceived to be, doing a little better, mental health wise or emotionally, and someone knows they're not ready for a relationship, so they do friend zone somebody, not because they are not worthy of their, of a relationship with said individual, but because that person knows that they're not in a healthy place, and that the person they're talking to, deserves somebody to be healthy with.
What she said. So, perfectly said. I can't say it any better. But I know how not to be put in the friend zone. So if I'm talking to somebody or I'm trying to speak to somebody, it just depends. I'm a little more guarded than I used to be. I used to be wide open, like a wide open book. Like, hey, whatever you want to know, just let me know. And then I got burned a couple of times. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, nah. Like I said, like I told y'all before, you know what I want you to know. And I think everybody's like that. But I'm really like that. Like, you know what I want you to know. And I'm more of I don't dive in. I'm cautious. I wait. And I kind of see where I kind of fill it out. And it's like, you know what? Nah, we probably better off as friends. And then the ones that are like, okay, I can see something going somewhere. I'll make sure I don't, I don't make it like, I call and say, hi, how you doing? Let's go out to eat or something. But it's not like, if I ask, I'm going to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like a... And there's some friends that pay for it, like, hey, I'm going to pay glass or whatever. But you set the tone and with your gestures, and I'm old school anyway. It's all open doors and all that stuff. So that's just me. But I have to fill you out. I'm very cautious about who I'm going to talk to and who I'm going to just be like, we're just cool, we're friends.
They get vetted.
Oh yeah, everybody gets put in a category. So I'm like, okay, I probably don't talk to you that much, but everybody gets put in a category. But I try to treat everybody. I treat them accordingly.
Wait, are you at home or are you at A1?
You're.
Or are you the guy that's like, sup, you want a massage?
are you the sup guy?
Oh God.
That's that LZ. Hell, he's like, that's just a whole nother category. He's the sup guy.
God.
Like, damn, that's something out there. So just to recap, we have, we just talked about the definition of a friend. We talked about categories of friendships. We talked about cultural aspects. That there is a stereotype. Like, well, these blacks, I thought you'd know. I'm like, let's not have that stereotype or any other stereotypes you might have out there. Just not everybody knows everybody. It's just that simple. There wouldn't be different people out here if we knew everybody. And just because somebody's best friends are their cousins doesn't mean they don't have friends outside of the family either. It just happens to be that they're more friendly with their family than there are other people. That's how they are. We also talked about. So we talked about the different categories of friends. Are you the sup guy? The acquaintance. Are you the homie? Or are you the A1 since day one? She can be considered a A1 since day one because we haven't talked in what we going on 17 years from Judson now.
Let's not do the math. You're gonna make me depressed.
Look, we're both old.
That's a lot of years.
We're both in our 30s. We're both in our 30s. So
Just say we graduated in 05.
We graduated in 2005. Do the math.
A long time ago.
And I didn't talk to her. She didn't show up to graduation, y'all. Ain't that some shit?
Nope. I took a nap.
Didn't come to graduation. I was like, where were you at? She's like, oh, I skipped. I'm like, oh, no wonder I didn't see you. So, yeah. But then we ended up reconnecting again and picked up where we left off. So, reconnected and we figured out who we are today. Picked up where we left off. You get it. Anyways, like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment, please. If you like this video, you want more things like it. I'm pretty sure it's been a longer video than usual. But make sure you share with your friends. Pepper Potts, you got anything else to say?
Set those boundaries and respect them, and whatever relationship dynamic you're in should be okay.
I couldn't say any better. Well, I'm FlyGuy.
Pepper.
And we're out.